Welcome to the Chatverse. We're going to talk about our biggest pet peeves and what just drives you crazy. I'm Katie.
And I'm Jennifer.
And let's get chatty. So today we're talking about pet peeves, those things that irritate you, annoy you, drive you crazy, things that people, in today's world get canceled over. So please don't cancel us during this video. If you get offended, I'm sorry.
And I would like to take a moment for a PSA. Please, to any of my friends watching this, I'm not saying any of this to offend you. To hurt anyone's feelings. It's more in the fun spirit. So take it that way. Because I know, some of these people have probably heard me talk about before over the years. So, it's all for fun. Okay, guys? I don't want to upset anybody by the stuff I say.
Don't offend me. I'm sitting over here.
Oh, man.
Hopefully none are about me.
I don't think so. I feel like, or maybe if there are different things, that could be, a little bit related. I don't explain.
I'll probably just start laughing. I'll just laugh. I don't care.
We'll see how it goes when we start talking. Okay. You never know. Yeah. You might say something that's so related to me, I'll be like, oh, God.
I'll just be like, oh, no. No, she hates me.
That's what's going to make this fun, because we might piss each other off in the process. We don't know.
Gosh darn it, why didn't you tell me you were annoyed?
You're like, what? You couldn't have told me this when we were a senior in high school? Come on.
Oh my God. How many, 12 years later? Now you tell
me? Alrighty, so Katie, what is one of your pet peeves?
All right, one of my pet peeves, and it happened to me yesterday, and it drives me crazy, is when you're at a red light and the person in the car next to you is staring at you the whole entire time. I don't like being stared at in general for an extended period of time because I just get uncomfortable. But it happens at red lights, and I'm like, why are you just staring at me? I'm not that fascinating, I promise.
For me, I only look if I see someone has a dog in their car, I'll look over. Or if I hear them blasting music, I'll look over. Or if I think it's a car of somebody I know, I'll look over. But I don't look out my window and just stare them down.
Right. No, I just I see it out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, why the heck are you staring at me? And then I'm looking over.
The other thing could be, since that bothers you so much, you might be constantly on alert. Are people staring at me because it bothers you? Because I know you've told me these stories for years. Jennifer, I was at Target and this person would not stop staring at me in the shampoo aisle. I'm like, why does this always happen to you? But I feel that it's for you. It's you're always so alert that you notice
hyper focused on it, somebody staring at me. But because it happens to me so often that people stare at me, and I'm just well, at first I'm like, okay, maybe they're looking somewhere else. They're looking towards something, or you're just a blank stare. You're out of, you're zoned out and you're just staring. And I just happen to be in your line of sight.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not. It's people are just staring at me. I've had where during the summer, last summer, I had my window down all the way, and this person was on a motorcycle, and they had the visor down, so I couldn't see their face at all. But they were this close to the car door, they could literally reach in and talk to me, or touch me, and they just were staring at me, and I turned and looked. They didn't say anything to me, but just kept staring at me.
Oh my God.
It was weird, and they didn't say anything, and I'm just hi, what? And they're just this, and I'm literally I could reach out and just push the dude, but he had a visor on, so I couldn't see what the heck he looked like, and I'm why are you just staring at me?
Oh God.
Am I that? Did I have something on me?
Oh God.
I hate it. I hate when people stare at me. It just makes me uncomfortable. But then it kind of builds the more and more you you see somebody staring at you, and if they look away real quick when you look at them, they're staring at you. So you're just do I have something on me? Or like, what is your problem? You want to be like, what is it?
Oh man.
I don't know. It just irritates me.
Okay.
It's like if you're just staring for a long extended period of time, that's like, and it's in a weird, creepy manner. Like you're on a motorcycle just right next to my window staring at me. That's weird. That's really weird.
Okay. So now it's my turn. Okay. So one of my pet peeves are when you have plans like with a group of friends or a couple people like to go and do something, and you like are either you have picked everybody up or you've met at someone's house to like go somewhere, and you get in the car to like get on the highway or go somewhere, and then the people who you're with are all like, I gotta get gas. And I'm like, what? Why did you not get gas beforehand? I need to go to the bank to get cash out. I'm like, what? And then they hit you with the double whammy. I need to go get gas and go to the bank. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, we planned to go somewhere. It's like, well, how come you couldn't have done this before you picked all of us up or before you went and met us up? It's like stuff like that. It's like, you know that you're going somewhere and you've planned something. It's like, why didn't you do this in your own time beforehand? And then it gets worse because over the years, I've done so much with different groups of friends. It gets worse when you're about to get on the highway and then people are all like, when you're in two separate cars, oh, I forgot something. I need to go into this store before we get on the highway. So then you get totally delayed and then you have to sit in the freaking parking lot while these people go in to get something. And it's over something so stupid. And this is an example. When you like, not everyone's cars have Bluetooth, or it was years ago when not everyone had Bluetooth. So it was the fact of, I forgot my cord to plug in my iPod Touch or my iPod or my phone to play music on the highway. So they need to go and halt everyone from getting on the highway to go into Giant Eagle or an Office Max to go and get a cord so now you can play your music.
Just have one in your car. Just have one in there. Like, have it in one of the storage units in your car. Like, I don't understand. We have cords in there. Like, I don't get why people do that. I know that was not about me because
So do you see my frustration? And I'm not the only one in like our group of friends or like people get annoyed by this because there's some people that will be like, you've got to be kidding me. And there's some people like, who cares?
Why did you get gas on the way over? Like, why, like, hey, I have to stop and get gas first. I'll meet you at your place. Like, why is it that, like, oh, wait, no, I'm almost out of I got to get gas.
Or it's like, okay, guys, if it was a Friday, on your way home from work, you could have stopped from getting off the highway from work. You could have gotten gas, gotten cash from the bank, and then you could have done your stuff, then got, like...
Right, and
you can definitely tell it's a pet peeve of mine.
Cash on you, just use your card then. At that point, just use your card. Why do you have to? I know some people like to use cash.
Hope this doesn't get too specific with my friends, but I do have friends where they refuse a lot of times to use credit cards. They're a full-blown cash people.
Like, if I don't have time to get cash out, like, I'll just use my card because it goes to my checking account. Like, if I use that one. Or if I use my, like, regular credit card, like, whatever, you're going to pay it anyways. But I know some people don't always like to do that.
That's a whole other thing, but you could tell by how hyper I got with that, how much that annoys the crap out of me.
Well, that would be annoying.
Over the years, it has happened. Oh my God. Happened so many times over the years, and I'm like, oh my God.
You just want to yell at somebody, why did you do this?
And I do, and I give them a bunch of crap for it, and then they get annoyed at me.
Yeah, that. Why so they have the audacity to get annoyed when they're inconveniencing other people over something stupid. You forgot your cord. Oh well, like, have one in your car.
Yeah.
Buy an extra one.
Your turn. Tag, you're it.
Tag, I'm it. Let's see, what else is pet peeve of mine? Loud chewing and chewing with your mouth open drives me crazy. Like, I hate it. I would hate in school when people would like smack their gum in class. I was like, I literally want to punch you because it makes you like have this like aggression that you're like, I'm not an aggressive person, but like I just want to like throat punch somebody because there's just, why do you have to chew that loud? And there's some people I can say it to. I could be like, really, do you have to chew like that? And other people I have to just internalize it, and I'm just like,
You know,
really?
it's bad when it turns into a running joke.
Yeah.
When,
or you like make fun of the person and you just like, you emphasize chewing loudly yourself and you're like hating yourself for doing it, but you're just like, I'm trying to make a point to you how irritating this is.
Or when food is piping hot and the people eat it anyways, make that.
Like, oh.
and they go and try to eat the stuff anyways while making a fool out of himself, doing that like that slurping, trying to like get air in their mouth to cool it down while eating.
Yeah, or they're like, it's like, why are you doing that? I just accept that I burnt my mouth. I just am like, that's hot.
Oh my God.
Or when they, oh my God, you get to some people where they spit it out when it's so hot. They're just like, and I'm like, no.
At least spit it into a napkin, people. Don't be like, right I'm going to put it right there on the table, right there on my plate so we can all stare at it.
It's like, oh, I didn't know we were having a mama bird situation. You just kind of, and then you're like, why did you do that? It was too hot. Well, you didn't see that it's like piping hot. It's steaming. Like, what the heck? At that point, just suffer in silence. Just burn. It just burns to yourself. I burned myself. Just burn your tongue and just accept it. And just be like, that's hot.
Trying to think which one I'm going to say next. Okay. My next one is, I am a big TV person, a big TV buff, and when my show is on, do not disturb me, do not call me, do not expect me to be answering right away with text messages unless there's a commercial on, and please, for the love of God, do not talk when it's on, because then I have to keep pumping up the volume, or when you people want to have a conversation in the same room, in the room over. Since I was little, this has bothered me. Like, my show is on, I want to hear the dialogue. I want to hear what's going on. Please don't make me turn it up to 40 so I can hear what's going on.
Or like you're watching something for the first time, like if it's a movie or like the pilot episode and somebody else is watching it with you and they're like, who's that person? Why does that person do that? It's like, I don't know. I'm experiencing this at the same time.
Exactly.
You are. Like, why do you think I know? It's worse. Like now, like I haven't been to a movie theater in a while, but like I would get annoyed when somebody would be in the movie theater and they would just be like talking, like, why is that doing that? Oh my God. Or they'd be like yelling and it's like, what, why? Sometimes I will talk during a movie sometimes, like if I comment on something, but I try not to have like a long drawn out conversation.
I know what you mean. I guess I'm pretty lucky that my group of friends, like whenever I've gone in the movie theater with people, it's not really like, oh my God, what's this, or questioning about it. It's more like we look at each other and react and just laugh our asses off.
Yeah.
There's been times in movie theaters that we've been afraid that people are going to like turn around and stare at us because we like have these laughing attacks. I don't care. I'm just going to say it. Mike likes to have laughing attacks. And then when he has it, everyone like, it's contagious, and then I start having a laughing attack, and then me and him just like, we're gonna die. And so we're always afraid in movie theaters that people are gonna turn around and be like, shut up, you two.
Yeah, no, I like, it's not so much like people I go with, it's like random people will just be like yelling in the movie, and you're like, what the, why are you, I had this one lady, this is like off on a tangent, but like, the chairs that like you can recline, right? She's like, this movie theater like serves alcohol, so she's buzzed on some wine and she can't figure out how to open her chair, like to recline her chair. She's crawling into mine while I'm sitting there, and I'm like, ma'am, like, what are you doing to me?
Oh my God.
I don't know you. And then she's like, I don't know how to use my chair. And I'm just like, I reached over and I'm like, it's this button right here. I'm like, just drink your wine and please just don't bother me the rest of the movie, because this, I'm like, you're lucky this is just not even the opening credits or anything. It wasn't even like the like trailers beforehand. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
lady, what are you, they just dim the lights and you're like, you can't
They
get in
just
your
dim the
chair, like
lights,
what is,
people.
I'm like, why?
What makes Katie tick?
What drives me crazy? What's another one? When people, like when you're in the store, okay, and like this, like somebody is like in every aisle you're at, you can't escape them.
I know what
You're
you're
like,
talking about. Yeah.
why? This was another thing that happened to me yesterday, and it drove me crazy. This older lady was on one of those like motorized scooter things. Just annoy the crap out of me. And she kept coming down every single aisle I was in, and I'm like pulled over enough, like closer to the shelf, so that like people can get through and everything. I'm always like, I'm considerate of somebody else. I'm not going to stand in the middle of the aisle because that's annoying. I hate that when people do that. But I'm like over there, and I'm like, okay, I'm aware if somebody needs to get in, whatever. But she kept like getting mad at me, acting as if I'm in the way. And she kept coming real close to me the whole entire time with her cart. And I'm like, with her like motorized scooter and this like big ginormous like laundry basket in it. And I'm like, what are you even doing?
So run people over.
Yeah. Everywhere I would go. And she would have the audacity to get mad at me like I was the problem. Lady, you're following me into I was like, okay, I'm down this aisle. I highly doubt she's going to come in here where there's hummus and stuff like that. Didn't see her. So I left that area because I got what I needed. And I went over to the like bread section. Here she comes on her scooter, like coming up. Can you leave me alone?
I hate when there's a person that's really sick and then they keep coming, coughing, and sneezing in the same aisle as you, and you're like, I just want to get away from you.
Yeah.
Or when you hear them like an aisle over, oh crap, they're coming, go to the other aisle.
It's just like, or when people are creepy, they're just like, they'll like try to start like talking to you in the middle of like, I was looking for shampoo once, and like I was just smelling them because I'm big on like things smelling good. I don't care what
I do the same thing.
As long as it smells good and I know it's gonna work well, like I'm like, all right, I'll try it. So I'm smelling it, and this like older guy was like, get a good one because you deserve it. And I was like, what the heck? I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? I was like, can you just, well, I'm trying to get shampoo, leave me alone. Like, why do people feel the need to like just be weird in public? I don't,
everyone's a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah, it's just like, why, where did you think that it would be okay to just talk to somebody, like just say something creepy to someone? First off, you never know somebody's age. Like, yes, I'm older, but like still don't be creepy. But I don't look my age. So like I could have been like a minor or something, and you're like creeping on somebody. Like, that's weird. Don't do that. I don't know, because like neither of us look our age. So I'm like, you don't know.
We can do a whole video, Katie, just on the things we've run into where people don't think we're our age. Like, no joke. That could be a whole video. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to get into that because you never know. We could do a video about that.
Oh yeah, that's a topic for later.
Yeah.
We'll revisit
I'm trying
that.
to think which one I'm going to talk about next. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do this one next. Okay, so I understand why companies or jobs or businesses have dress codes for their employees.
Yeah.
Different attire. But it really annoys me when they don't take into consideration the dress code with what the people are actually doing for a job, or the like even like small details of like comfortability over different things.
Yeah.
I guess you're probably like, people are like, huh? So here's some examples. I used to work at Macy's when I was in college, and they had this big rule about you had to wear all black, and your shoes had to be black. And they had this thing where they did not want you wearing black tennis shoes or things like that. And the black shoes that I always found, like I found this one pair, but if you're working on the floor and you're working a very long shift, some of these shoes or dress shoes aren't comfortable. So you're like, well, what's the problem? If you're wearing black pants, black tennis shoes are gonna like blend in, but oh, the old ladies or like the older like men or people, like they were allowed to get away with it. Like, and no one
Yeah.
ever said anything to them. But oh, with the shoes, like it needed to be like it can't be black tennis shoes.
Hmm.
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then the same thing at when I was in college, I worked in their career services center. They had a dress code.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that it was on a like all college campuses, if you're a student worker, you're going to be going to class, wandering around campus, and then going back to your place of employment, maybe like even several times a day. And they want you to have this dress code, like you have to wear certain shoes, you got to wear certain clothes. Well, if you need to hike it like several blocks down to get to certain buildings or do stuff, you need to wear like comfortable shoes, or in the winter, you have to wear boots. But my
Yeah.
office, for example, they didn't really want you wearing your winter boots or different things. Like they get really picky. So then, with your book bag of your books for class, and you're hauling around extra pairs of shoes, and it just annoyed me
Yeah.
up the wall. Some people didn't care, but even the fact of like the clothes that you wear, I have worked many jobs where they want you to dress up.
Hmm.
But the problem is that it doesn't match the role and what you're working for that day or your job in general. Like I do a lot of art stuff. I'm sorry, I don't want to be wearing all these nice clothes and skirts and nice blouses or tops if like I'm
Yeah.
going to be doing art stuff and it like annoys me up a wall. But then you've got some of the males in those career fields where they can wear jeans and their t-shirts and not, oh, they won't get in trouble and they're fine with that. They can wear their
I know.
tennis shoes, Under
I know.
Armour shirts, that, but oh, they
The
can get
male
away
teachers
with
could get
it.
away with stuff. They could wear like whatever they wanted, but the girl teachers could. Like, God forbid if a female teacher wore a tank shirt. But I know what you mean, like with dress codes. I do. Like I had some where I had to do like business casual, but then a lot of the places I worked, you could wear jeans and everything. So
Mhm.
like wearing jeans is fine. But then they would be like, you can't wear athletic tennis shoes. You have to wear, like, if you're going to wear a tennis shoe, it has to be like kind of like a fashion tennis shoe. Like, it's not like the most comfortable thing in the world. I, Not me, I would like break rules. I don't really care. Because I worked by myself. So if I knew somebody from corporate was coming or something, then I would dress differently.
Mhm.
But I was working by myself. I didn't really care. Like the thing that irritated me, okay, you're like a more prestige brand. We're wearing your jeans and your all that kind of stuff. But they would be like, you can't wear Uggs. Uggs are like a prestigious like shoe
Mhm.
designer.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they're not a cheap shoe. And it's like they don't look horrible, but then they would have like dumb rules where like if you were gonna wear a sandal, like it had to be like a dressy sandal. But if you were gonna wear a different like kind that didn't have a back or whatever on it and was like more casual, it had to be just Birkenstocks. Like so I got some that were knockoff Birkenstocks, which like they were like I was like, whatever, I'll wear these. They look kind of like that, like
Or when
type
they
of
say
thing.
wear Sperry's, and then you could just go get all the knockoff versions that look like
Yeah.
Sperry.
I mean, I have a pair of Birkenstocks, but I don't have the ones that's like the cork bottom because I don't like those. They're like hard, and I'm like, those are not comfortable to work in. I have the ones that are like they're the plain black, and they're kind of more the like foam material, but not
Mhm.
really foam. They're kind of like I don't know what they are, but
Mhm.
yeah, I have those ones. But I got those like after I was working there, so I was just like, but it would be like these dumb things where it's like only you can break the rules only if it's this kind, like if it's this brand. I'm like, I don't care.
It's
And
so dumb. It
even when
really
like
is.
somebody was from like higher up would be there, they never said anything to me. because they just evaluated me on my job. Like they didn't really look at
That's
what
what
I
they
was wearing.
should be. Like, I understand if you're coming to work dressing inappropriately or like a slob. I totally
Yeah,
get that. But you need to be focused more on their performance
performance.
and how they're
Yeah,
doing and how well they work with others, if they're a team, you know,
yeah. I
a
mean,
team
as a
person,
manager,
like that type of a thing.
I was doing all my stuff as a manager. I was doing my job. I was like, I was going above and beyond what I needed to do. I would like come to work all the time and give like 120% because that's what I do it with any job. And like, I'm like, who cares what shoe I have on? I have everything else that's like to dress code.
Right, and
So
it's like, oh, sorry, we don't care that you did a good job to it. The we're like, we don't care if you did a good job today. We care about the pants you're wearing. Like,
yeah. And it's
get
just
out
like,
of
okay,
here.
it's like I styled my outfit. It's going to sell things. Like who's looking at my foot? Like who's really staring at my shoes? Like, oh yeah, half the time if it was like, sure, you might get the girl customers would come in and be like, oh, nice shoes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But very few and far between. Like the dudes, like they were just there to shop. They're like, I need these. Like, okay, like like whatever.
The guys want to get in and get out. They don't
Yeah, they're
want to
not like
fart
evaluating
around.
what shoes you have on or like, oh, your outfit looks great today. Like they don't care. They're just there to shop. Like
Mm-hmm.
unless they're trying to hit on somebody, but that's a whole different story. I know you were annoyed with spoilers. And mine kind of piggybacks off of that. So like
In a way, if you want to use that as yours, you can. Like you
well
can, because I have
mine like
trying to think of
piggybacks
which
off
one
of
I'm gonna use next.
mine piggybacks off of it because it's like more so of you're having a conversation with somebody that like okay, both of us have seen something and we've seen it in its entirety, and somebody else comes in and they're acting like they've seen it but they haven't, and then like they get mad at you for spoiling something. It's that kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah, because I've had that happen and it annoys the heck out of me because I'm like, at any time you
So
could have been like,
they play it off. They're like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and then you're like,
yeah,
you say something like, "What?"
they're having a whole conversation, making it appear like they have seen it, or oh my god, I almost threw my camera. Oh my god, I was like, my whole stand is gonna fall over. They're like sitting there acting like they clearly know like the two people have seen it or played the whole thing
Yeah.
or whatever it may be, and they're having the conversation, but once it gets off of like the trailer or whatever they've seen and gets to like the root stuff, then they're like, oh my god, thanks for spoiling that for me. And it's like, you never once stated that you didn't see it. You're like coming across as seeing it.
Wow. I've
Yeah,
actually never run into that before. Huh.
yeah,
Huh. No, like
but
it's weird. Like I've never run into a situation like that, but I could see why that would be annoying.
it is annoying. I was like, there was one time where I was talking about a video game and it was an early access. I didn't play it myself, but I saw a playthrough of it, and the other person had like seen it as well, or I don't know if they played it or not. But then the third person was sitting there acting like they knew because they had seen some of the early access stuff,
Mm-hmm.
acting as if they knew like what was going on in the game. And then once it got to a pivotal part, like, I can't believe they ended it like this. And you didn't know like who this person was. And it just kind of ends. And they were like, thanks for spoiling it. And it's like, well, sorry, but you're sitting there coming across like you knew what I was talking about the whole entire time,
Oh
not once
man.
saying anything. I don't care. Like me, I'd be like, okay, well, all right, guys, are you talking about this? Oh, I haven't seen the entire thing. I didn't watch the movie yet. I've just
Mm-hmm.
seen the trailer. Totally understandable. I respect you on that. I'll be like, yeah, no, like that's fine. Do that. But if you're going to come in and have a conversation and act like you're an active part of the conversation, like you've
Right.
seen it entirely, it is not my
Yeah,
fault
don't be
that something
playing
got
it off
spoiled.
because in a way you're just setting yourself up. If you're
Yeah.
playing it off that you've seen it or know what's going on and you really don't, and then you don't want to get spoiled, you're setting yourself up for getting mad.
Yeah, you walked into it. It's not my fault or the other person's fault that we
That
just
is so
gave like
dumb. Yeah, but with the whole thing with the spoilers is that people don't understand that a lot of people want to be surprised. Like they want to, in the moment witness it themselves like a brand new thing. And everybody on social media, it's like they're not like some people are doing it on purpose to
yeah.
annoy others and to get people upset and to spoil it for other people. There's some people that they're so excited about what they just watched that they want to post and say stuff. But it's getting out of hand where like with the spoilers with, you know, all these entertainment like sites and people are posting stuff and then people are posting screenshots of stuff in the comments of like the article might be super vague so it's like it's not
Yeah.
really giving something away and then underneath someone's putting in like a screenshot of specifically. I'm like, are you serious? And then TikTok is flooded with spoilers and it's I just that stuff it makes me so mad because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that they don't want things to get spoiled like they want to be surprised like that's what makes the experience fun watching something if you know everything that's gonna happen like
Yeah.
you just know like oh well oh this is gonna happen like it takes the fun out of stuff.
Right. And I mean like online it's annoying because there are like a bunch of people that are trolls and they do it on purpose. But then like when it's in person, like you have control of being like, hey, I haven't watched that yet. Like don't spoil it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't say that, people are just gonna continue with their conversation, not knowing, and it's not them being in the wrong because you didn't say anything. They don't, you know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
online it's kind of like it's a hard thing. You can't control it because people are just being stupid online anyways. Um
Yeah, it's gotten out of control, but like it's gotten so bad where people are spoiling stuff that I know when I think Infinity War and Endgame came out, there was this whole thing online where they were like, please keep your silence until a
yeah.
certain thing happened, like a time period goes by to let people watch it. And I even remember there was pictures online of just, random people on the internet teachers were actually putting notes on their door saying this is a spoiler-free zone. I am not going to see it till this weekend, so don't come in here talking about it or I'm kicking you out of
Yeah.
class. Like
Like
I was laughing at those signs. Like I would
yeah.
like it was just
Like
so funny.
Thanos demands your silence and so do I. Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah, I
take our
saw things
movies
like
and
that.
our TV shows and stuff seriously, people, so just let us have our fun.
I know. Well, and with like that, I ended up getting like a major spoiler from that. From I was watching a live thing and Tom Holland just was like, and when I died, and I was like, oh, I was like, thanks, Tom, thanks.
For me, it was during Infinity War, right when the movie started. Some punk teenagers in the front row were, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Yeah,
The second it started, and me and my friends, I forget
it's
who's
like
other, looked at each other, and it's like we paid money to sit here and watch this, and some idiot teenagers in the front row shouted this, and
yeah,
because a lot of people at
so
that
it's
point
like
didn't
you
know.
knew something was gonna happen to somebody, and you were just like, oh great.
Okay, I guess I'll just go with this. I get really annoyed at a sound or something repetitive going over and over again, and it won't stop, and it goes on for a long, long time. I
I know what you're talking
hate,
about.
I really hate when kids get their tantrum fits and they will not stop it. They won't stop crying, they won't stop their whining. Another thing is with dogs barking, like I cannot take when dogs will like just nonstop, they won't stop barking. And then
I'm used
like,
to that, so I just, but it
oh,
does get annoying.
it drives me up a wall. Like if it's like this nonstop going on forever, it's like, oh my God. And then
Yeah.
like when neighbors are running like a machine, but it's more like when they're Like if it's like music or something that's going on for hours and hours and hours on end and it just won't stop, like it just really irritates me that I want to shout shut up out my window.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about though. Like when people like run out their snowblower or something, run the gas out, and you're just like,
Hmm.
seriously, what the heck? And they do it at the most like irritating times too.
We used to have somebody like down the street and around the corner that they had a bunch of motorcycles. And this was a long time ago. And they would just keep revving them. And I felt like they never even went anywhere. They were just constantly revving their motorcycle in this driveway. And I think like people like there was like a noise complaint or something put in. Like his
Oh well,
by a
yeah.
bunch of neighbors because it was so excessive.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yeah.
I hate when there's like construction and it's like pounding over and over and over, and you're just
Hmm.
like, seriously, are you done? And then it like stops momentarily, and you're like, oh thank God, and then it starts again. You have to like,
Well, I
wow.
hate it. It's like when you're trying to watch something and those
Mhm.
sounds outside are so loud of like the leaf blower or something like that, then you can't even hear what you're watching. Then you're like, what's the point
I
of even
know.
watching something right now?
Right. And then like even if you put headphones in and then you turn up the sound, it's like that gets louder in the background. And then you have to keep turning up your
Hmm.
headphones and you're just going deaf at that point. I
Yeah.
mean,
So I guess it wasn't it wasn't that funny of a or great of a pet peeve to end it, but
it's
I
still a
don't
pet peeve nonetheless. Like, certain things annoy certain people and other things don't. Like, something might bother me and it doesn't bother you, or
know.
vice versa. We hope you enjoyed this conversation, and feel free in the comment sections to leave what's your pet peeve.
Hmm. Hmm.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications, because that's how you'll know when we upload a video. The videos always come out on Thursdays.
Yes. Thursdays. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us in the Chatverse today.